What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to preview the week 1 of the AFL Finals series for 2017. Let's start off with the first game of the week. Thursday night, Adelaide Oval, 7:20pm. It is Adelaide versus GWS, and now it is obviously a Port Adelaide channel, so I don't really want to talk too much about the Crows. But in saying that, we're still going to preview the game. So I'm going to go through some key things that I think will be pivotal for both teams to win. And starting with Adelaide, I think being obviously the best team in the comp, and I hate to say that, but being the best team in the comp, their scoring power down forward is so crucial to this game. The likes of Eddie Betts, Taylor Walker, Josh Jenkins even. They've got Charlie Cameron down there as well, and just McGovern is another one. They've got so much power to go through, so if one doesn't stand up, you're almost certain to see another stand up. And for GWS to stop that, they're going to have to play a team defence style and make sure Adelaide don't get out the back and try and lock it in their half, especially considering Adelaide's scoring power is just phenomenal. And we've seen over the course of the year, if they get on a run, they're unstoppable for a quarter and a half. And it's going to be hard to see GWS winning, especially over here in Adelaide. It'd be nice to see them win, as a Port fan saying that, but then again, not too sure exactly. It's finals though, the bye is going to play a crucial part in it, and I think for GWS to win, they're going to have to obviously exploit Adelaide's defence a little bit and use their scoring ability as well, with the likes of Toby Green, Jonathan Patton. I think Jeremy Cameron's back as well. So that's going to be crucial to see who gets the score on the board, and I think it'll be interesting to see, especially who gets the most goals and who takes their opportunities as well, because we've seen over the course of the year that any team that misses their shots will most definitely lose the game. So we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, for prediction for the game, I'm going to go with Adelaide by about 3 or 4 goals. And the star of the show, I think, will be Matt Crouch. I think he's had a superb year, and obviously getting his All-Australian honours just last week. I think he's going to prove to himself and to obviously everyone in the competition that he is obviously one of the best midfielders at the moment going around. So, especially without Sloane, I think Adelaide will get the job done. So, yeah, Adelaide at home will move into a prelim final. The next game I wanted to look at is probably the game of the round for me personally. Geelong versus Richmond, MCG, 100,000 people. It's going to be a big game. And the biggest question is obviously to see whether or not Richmond have what it takes. They've obviously played finals in the past, and as we know, they haven't got the job done. That's essentially what they've done. And it'll be good to see whether or not they take the pressure on, especially given this time that they're in a better position, top 4. If they lose this week, they've still got a second chance, and they'll play obviously either Sydney or Essendon. But for me, Friday night footy, biggest game of the week. And Richmond have the capabilities of beating Geelong. Geelong, I don't think, are in the best shape going into this week. And especially with the bye, you just never know. But I think if the game was at Sydney Stadium, the game would have probably been heavily in Geelong's favour, but at the MCG, it's neutral territory, and with a big crowd, I think Richmond could possibly actually get the job done. And I'm actually tipping them. I reckon they'll get it done by a goal or 2, because I think across the ground they're probably more consistent. They've got their little mosquito fleet in the forward line with the likes of Rioli, Butler, and then you've got the big tall Rewalt to throw in there. Townsend's playing a good month of footy as well, so it'll be good to see Richmond get a win for once, and I think Richmond fans will like that. Geelong, on the other hand, they will have Joel Selwood and Dangerfield in the middle. So, yeah, Hawkins and their defence, I think, is really steady as well. But if they don't win it in the midfield, Geelong usually don't win the game. And I think if they're going to win, they have to take the opportunities, because they've proven that they can't really kick straight too often. And when they do, they still win on the odd occasion, but that's usually against the lower teams. But I think they've cost themselves a couple of games this year, but if Richmond bring the pressure, especially the forward pressure that they do, their defensive work is brilliant as well, and they've got the capabilities of scoring a big score. So, especially with their 100-point win over Fremantle, that was a scary game personally. So, and they dominated St Kilda in their last game as well. Geelong had a good game against GWS and struggled against Collingwood, so it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, Richmond to win by a goal or two, and I reckon Chuck Rewalt will probably stand up and kick 4 or 5. And yeah, that's my tip for Geelong-Richmond, which would be an absolute belter on Friday night. Probably the most easiest game to tip this week is Sydney versus Essendon. For Essendon to make the top 8 in what has been a close season should be something they are very proud of. They have dealt with the criticism, dealt with the media presence they've had, and for them to come back from a season they've had over the last couple of years, I think they deserve a pat on the back for that. They've copped the criticism, they've taken on the pressure, and they've just done a fantastic job. And for me, they deserve to be in the 8, no doubt about it. But this is probably the toughest game they're going to come up against this year. I mean, Sydney at the SCG is probably one of the toughest trips in footy at the moment, and especially with Sydney in their form as they are. Just good luck stopping their players. Their midfield, amazing. The likes of, for someone like Jared McVeigh to show his form that he's had as the age he is, you've got the likes of Kieran Jack, Luke Parker, Josh Kennedy, Hanbury as well through there, and just the young players they've brought in as well. Nick Newman, Melican, Hayward is another one. They've got so much scoring power. Obviously they've got Buddy. Tippett's come back into form. Sinclair's showing something which they desperately need, and for them, it's theirs to lose really. They're my flag favourites for this year, and especially with their run they're going to play either Geelong or Richmond next week. They're then obviously going to travel to Adelaide or wherever they possibly go, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But Sydney for me, and especially in this game, the key thing I want to see is obviously Danaher versus Buddy Franklin. Who mans Danaher? Because Sydney got a smaller defence, Grundy, they've got Rampy down there. It'll be just interesting to see. Buddy obviously at the other end, the likes of Michael Hurley and all those types of players are really crucial for this game for whatever club is going to prevail. For me, it's Sydney by 3 or 4 goals. I think they're just going to have too much scoring power, and especially at home at the SCG in front of 40,000 Sydney fans is going to be a big plus for them. So I think Sydney in a tight one. Hopefully Essendon give it a good game. I don't want to see a blowout this week. So Sydney for me at home for their game against Essendon. Last but not least, the power. So Port Adelaide versus West Coast, Adelaide Oval, 7:20 Saturday night. The last final of the week, an elimination final, do or die clash. Who wins? Port. Port Adelaide for me, obviously. Massive Port fan, as you can see with the flag in the background as well. The whole room is decorated, but I'm not going to show you that because the room's an absolute mess. But for us Port fans, first home final since 2014, and we all know what happened last final that we had at home. We obliterated Richmond. So let's hope something like that happens again. I think for Port to win though, they're going to have to shut down the West Coast epic forward line. Josh Kennedy, Jack Darling, Lacroix's down there as well. It's going to be absolutely intriguing to see who wins that battle. If they can keep 1 goalless, 2 goalless, or at least keep them below 3 goals each, Port Adelaide win. Team defence is crucial for this one. As we've seen, West Coast have a fantastic record at Adelaide Oval. 6 of 7 games I think they've won, if I'm correct. 5 or 6 games they've won at Adelaide Oval. So it'll be interesting to see, that's for sure, how they approach this. So and I think scraping through the finals right at the end there will help them a lot with their confidence, and I think they could possibly pull it off, no doubt about it. I'm not putting behind West Coast, but I just think, especially with Port's scoring power, their ability to win the ball, and their running pace, Adelaide Oval at home, 45,000 fans, mainly Port Adelaide. It's a whole nother ball game when it's a final at Adelaide Oval. It's a whole nother ball game compared to round 7 this year, when I thought was a little bit flat. This time a point has to be proven. Port Adelaide has a point to prove. They have to win this. It's a do or die clash, and Port Adelaide have to win. The key thing for me, as well as West Coast forward line, will be how Charlie Dixon plays. He's obviously a barometer for Port Adelaide. If he kicks a 3-4 goal game, Port Adelaide win. He was phenomenal against West Coast last time, and even earlier in the year at home. So he is a key part of how Port Adelaide win. I think the set shots as well for Port Adelaide is crucial. If they kick straight, Port Adelaide will win. Simple as that. They showed that last time when they played in Perth. The time before that, we lost because of that, not kicking straight. So if we take our chances, put the early scoreboard pressure on, Port Adelaide could win 4, 5, 6, 7 goals. It could be a good win for the club. It could be close. It's probably the most uncertain game of the week, I'd say. We just don't know what's going to happen. And Port Adelaide going favourites, West Coast as the underdogs, but I think Port will win. Just. And I can go home happy. Just saying. So, yeah, I Port Adelaide by 3 or 4 goals for me. Yeah, that's it. I think Port will win at home in front of the faithful. So that rounds up my little preview of the first week of finals. I hope you've enjoyed the preview. I'll do this every week for every finals week, just to get more of a broader aspect towards the AFL, and see the different perspective from each team, which would be good to see. Hopefully your team wins this week. We don't want anyone going home unhappy, but unfortunately 4 teams will be. 2 teams get an opportunity to play again, and obviously 2 teams go home and prepare for 2018. So that's it. That's my preview for week 1 of the finals. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Join me on the Portress podcast tonight, 8 PM, Port fans, for another epic podcast. We're going to talk all things finals for this week, especially Port Adelaide versus West Coast. And let me know in the comments below what you think of week 1 of finals and what's going to happen, who's going to win, who progresses, and give me your predictions. My name's Anthony, and go the power.